So you and the kids have been cooped up at home for the last couple weeks? Perfect. Sounds like a great time to talk about family worship. Family worship? What are you talking about? Glad you asked. Family worship is just when families come together to read the Bible, pray, and sing songs to God, preferably every day. Biblically, the principle of family worship is shown in the commands and responsibilities fathers have to lead their families spiritually. Fathers have the primary responsibility to lead their families, not the church, not Sunday school or whatever. Fathers have the primary responsibility. Here are some passages of scripture that clearly demonstrate this. Deuteronomy 6, starting at verse 6. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Psalms chapter 78, starting at verse 2 and edited. I will utter dark sayings from of old, things that we have heard and known, that our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from our children, but tell them to the coming generation, that the next generation might know them, the children yet unborn, and arise and tell them to their children, so that they should set their hope in God. Ephesians chapter 6, starting at verse 4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Finally, Proverbs chapter 22. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Mothers are also commended in the Bible for bringing up their children in the things of the Lord. The Apostle Paul commended the grandmother and mother of Timothy as they had taught Timothy the scripture, presumably because Timothy's father was Greek and perhaps not a believer. Throughout church history, family worship has been a tool that the church has used. From people like Martin Luther, Charles Spurgeon, John Knox, Matthew Henry, Jonathan Edwards, John Piper, D.A. Carson, and others, they all practiced family worship among their own families, and they expected others to do the same. In both the Westminster Confession of Faith and the 1689 London Baptist Confession of Faith, they both say, God is to be worshipped everywhere in spirit and in truth, as in private families daily, and in secret, each one by himself. As a result, the Presbyterian Church of Scotland actually debarred people from participating in the Lord's Supper if they regularly neglected leading their families in family worship. So they took it pretty serious, and I'm not suggesting we do the same, but what I'm saying is every family should be practicing family worship. There's a handful of good resources on family worship. I would recommend the book Family Worship by Don Whitney. It really helped me and Sarah to get on board with family worship and gave some good practical advice too. You can download the book, the ebook, or even get the audiobook. Once you decide to do family worship, you should keep it simple. Read a passage of the Bible, pray together, and sing a song. And that's it. You should aim to keep it around 10 to 20 minutes. You don't have to drag it on too much because it'll become an unenjoyable time for the kids especially. If you have time at the end, you can do memory verses, practice your memory verses, learn new ones, recite old ones, or go through a catechism together. Have fun, get creative, and enjoy the time. So in conclusion, what a blessing it would be if during this time of COVID-19 pandemic, families decided to establish regular times of family worship. May God cause that to be so.